So welcome to this video about the anomalies that I've heard in ABBA's song So Long. I've been doing a different styly kind of video today. Piercy goes different, amazing. Basically what we're going to do is analyse the song as well as try and talk about the anomalies. This song is all about giving somebody a bloody good telling off. And you've got a sort of similar but different song in Man in the Middle, because both of these songs come from their 1975 LP ABBA. Man in the Middle is basically some blokes that basically thinks that they can buy their friends and buy their women with money. This song is from the girl's point of view. You can't buy me with money. It's a bit of a hackneyed old idea, and everything in the production here is, as Rudolph says, basically it tires me out. So if we look in the introduction, listening out of phase, you'll find two stray cymbal beats at 4 and 5 seconds, and at 13 seconds you'll find some crackle. All right. At 10 seconds in phase, you'll find an edit from this very discordant brass vocal and synth glissando, which my piano is not going to do any justice to, but it's basically one long D7 chord, yeah? See how the bass changes to scrunch it up, you see? Like that, and it, you know, that sort of chord there is going to drive, you know, it's jarring, and it's meant to be. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars of that before we end up at the key chord of G, which is basically just boogieing around on that little pattern there. The first verse is made up of the blues chords of G to start with, anyway. And you know, it's perfectly normal, yeah. D, C, G. Now, as we go into They Say That Money's Got a Magic Touch, at 28 seconds in phase on headphones, you'll hear there's like a tom-tom overdub, which basically is covering up an edit which would be all too audible without those toms. You'll hear quite a prominent one in your right ear if you're listening to more ABBA Gold stereo positions. And the edit is actually on the left-hand side. There's a little gap there, which is being plugged by this tom-tom on your right ear. Okay, and at 34 seconds, there's a strange sort of overlapping effect out of phase on the word much, which, if you listen really carefully in phase, you'll hear there's an extra burst of reverb. All right. Now, as we go into They Say That Money's Got a Magic Touch, now we are just being shoehorned into the relative or related minor key. Now, really, G major and G minor have got sod all to do with one another, but here we're just being slammed into it. So we've got G, and then the bass there is actually really good. The way that it bends up onto that second half beat of the bar. All right. So we've got. And then the bass goes down. We're still on a G minor chord. Okay, now we're going to E flat. And then we're going back into G major. There's D. Okay, and at that point, out of phase, you've got a downward guitar glissando, like a slide, which is taking you into a chorus, and it's an edit point there, okay? That's out of phase. While we're in the chorus and while we're talking about edit points, there's an edit at 1 minute 2 seconds in between the words so long, and you can hear an audible click there. Going back to the verse, D, C, G, all right? As we come out of the chorus, we have the opposite of that, okay? So you've got so long, which is a C, so long, D, and then G. And again, so long, so long, so long. Okay, and then we're going into the second verse. You've got these backing vocals that go mun, money, 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 and during that you'll hear another tom-tom overdub, which is covering an edit at 1 minute 7 seconds, and then at 1 minute 11 seconds, out of phase, you'll hear an edit during the word didn't, and in phase, it's been double tracked, just for one syllable of one word, and it sticks out. In the second verse, at 1 minute 35 seconds to 1 minute 36 seconds, there's a stumble in the backing track out of phase. And at 1 minute 36 seconds in phase, you'll hear the snares change. And that's where it's audible. You've got much brighter snares at 1 minute 36 seconds. At 1 minute 47 seconds, you've got an extra phasey so long, which I can't hear in the Polar edition, probably because it's not as bright, but which I think is because, again, they've had another edit point. Now, the instrumental is very interesting because we're going back to this G minor key, all right, but you've got no chords at all, all right? Whereas in the introduction, you've got this glissando, like a slide on the vocals, but there's, you know, proper chords behind it. All we're doing now is just playing a... And that takes you to the second half of the chorus. Okay, now, there are two edits at the beginning of that instrumental pattern, at 2 minutes 3 seconds. That's actually quite a good edit, but out of phase, the cymbals in the instrumental passage have a bit of extra treble zing to them. As you come out of that passage though, at 2 minutes 12 seconds, it really isn't such a good edit at all. In that repeat of the chorus after the instrumental at 2 minutes 15 seconds, we have an edit in the word can't, as in can't buy me with your money. It's not really very audible on the Polar edition, but it's very audible on the Tretow, on the, checking my notes here, on the right hand side I think it is, yeah, and you'll hear like a meow style guitar because like in the name of the game, there's like a guitar that's had its attack edited off. It's the same thing here. And really, those are all the anomalies in So Long. But the ending is the bit where all of this discordant scrunch and strange keys have been brought together. This sort of... that you've got this very strange 3 against 2, if you listen to the bass as well, it's really quite hard to play, and it adds much, you know, tension in the rhythm, all right? But now the brass comes in, all right, playing these two really out of key chords, and they're not just doing it for like a second like that. They're actually, you've got this G major chord, and over the top of it you've got a B flat and a C sharp. And it really jars because it's a little bit of G major, a little bit of G minor, G major chord in the bass, and G minor with a C sharp added to it as well. But it's really, really discordant. Okay, and then there's an overdubbed piano at the end, which is doing something, right, which is a really groovy, bluesy sound. But again, it's completely in contrast with what's going on in the backing chords. And so you've just got this great fiery blast from the girls that are really having a good go at someone, and they're not even going to sort of finish it on a nice note. It's like someone rushes in, gives you a bloody good telling off, and clears out again. And you're left there thinking, what did I do? What did I do?